Hey, welcome back out to DIY. Today we're working back here on this Gladiator, and I screwed up and I forgot to shoot an intro for the beginning of this video, but we're working on the rear end, putting some extended axles on here and getting it put back together, taking it for a little drive and see what it can do, and then we make some decisions on what's next. Let's see what this guy can do.
All right, so as you can see, we got the new front axle put in here. We did put some new brass, the steering link in there, metal steering link, new servo. So focused a lot of our work all up here in the front. And if that's all we did, we want to check out to see what the changes were. Of course, you got wide tires in the front and these skinny little tires here in the back. You can't even see them. There they are. So I want to go over here and check it on the scales to see what we changed. Remember we had, if I remember right, it was a little biased. We had more weight in the rear than we had in the front. And kind of check over here, check a look at this now. We've actually flipped the script here. We're now at 56 in the front, 44 in the rear, which is just great. We got to do a few more things, of course. I got a little wider axle that I'd like to put on the rear. And oh, the front diff cover is also a brass one. Also, show here, as you can see right there. So we've definitely considerably put more weight up front, but is definitely making it for the better for climbing and everything else. So next step, we're going to do an underdrive in the rear, put wider axles on it, and we'll come back and then we'll just we'll check it again. All right, so here we are. I already started disassembling the rear, took the wheels off and got the hubs, taking the little hexes off here in the ends, taking the axle pins out, and here we go. Just plain old axle here. We're going to replace the drive in here. I did take the drive shaft off also, but pretty simple. We are putting an underdrive on here, so our axle in the rear will be a little bit slower, which essentially gives us overdrive in the front. So if we're trying to pull up a hill or anything like that, we get traction in the front and it can help us pull up the hill a little better rather than the rear wheels pushing us and essentially letting the front unload and possibly rolling backwards or flipping backwards. So I will work on this, start getting this taken apart, and then we will show you how to put the underdrive in. In order to put this underdrive in, you probably could unscrew it out of there and replace it that way, but you still have to take the piece out of the you get two pieces in the underdrive and overdrive kits. You got the pinion here and the spur gear here that drive together this way. So we have to replace those, and to replace those you do have to take these axles out. Since we are taking the axles out, I wanted a wider stance on mine, so I have axles that have the +4 millimeter, like we did on the front axle. We're also putting those on the rear also. So if we take the two screws out of the ends of the axle housing, those axles should slide out the ends. So I got them both out. These are the two screws right down there on that side and that side. Back of the diff cover is off, and so we should be able to turn these and pull these out. Maybe, if it'll let me take out that gear. Oh, there we go. A little stuck a little bit, but yes, they do come out of there. There we go. Now, one thing to remember too, as we're doing these bearings here on the outside of those axles do need to come out. They will go on the new axle shafts as they go back in. This is a good time to make sure everything's clean
and ready to accept the new gear that's going in here. Of course, the new gear right there. Just slide that in there just like that. We need to get out the new axle shafts. I picked them up. I picked up some cheap ones off Amazon to widen out that 4mm like we did on the front. Those are the new axle shafts with the wider 4mm on them. Alright, so as we're putting these back together, like I said, we need to save the outer bearing that was in there. Just slide that back on the shaft, just like that, no problem. And then those shafts slide back in, back through everything, and then you got to line them back up into the housing. So then, as you can see, these axle shafts then stick out quite a bit more. There are sleeves that come with these, new pins, and it looks like we also get new sleeves and new axle pins to go in the end also. So we'll go ahead and put these back together. Now the new underdrive does come with these little rubber O-rings. They do go on the ends here of that shaft and that other shaft there, so that when they're in here, they're not grinding right up against the bearing that holds them in place. And again, in this area too, I'm just going to go ahead and add. I got just a little bit of red and tacky stuff here. It doesn't really need much at all, if anything, but I figured if it's got it open, it's not going to hurt to have just a little bit in there. Let that put in, and then you put the diff cover back on. And I am running the diff cover with the brass one on the front only because we don't need the weight in the rear, especially if we wanted to keep that rack or anything on the back of the Gladiator. That's not going to work too well. Too much weight bias to the back. So we're definitely not going to add any more weight to the back to keep that more weight up front. All right, I'm going to keep on working on these and put all these screws back in, and then I'll bring you back. Alright, so here we are. All new wheels, tires, and like I said, they are definitely a little wider. That's what I was going for. There we go. And the numbers we have now. We did lose a little. Going a little wider on the back. We went to 52, 48. We're still under, our gross weight is still under the 400. It's awesome. We've balanced out a little better here. Maybe we've got centered better on the scales, but that's looking good. And we're gonna probably take this out for a little bit of run. Idea, and I did want to mention a little bit about the wheels. The wheels are 3D printed. They are from 24 Yep. They have free files out there for 3D printing wheels, chassis, some bodies, some fun stuff out there for your imagination. Go check them out, 24yep.com. And they are new tires. So we are waiting to we'll mess around more with that, but we're trying to balance this out a little bit. We're going to look to upgrade the motor, ESC, radio, and we might do a little bit of body modifications here. So we will see how things go. All right, here we go. Let's see if we got anything working here. Oh, I didn't get the remote turned on first. I am getting a little hung up on the body there a little bit, but not too bad. Not as much as I thought I was going to. There's where that weight in the back would be better up front. Yeah. There it goes. Yeah, right there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but let me zoom in here. Right there on that front wheel. I want to try and take a turn. You can see that fender bump in right there. We gotta do some trimming, I think. Yeah, it's not letting me turn. Alright, so we got her started up here. Let's see if we can get it going up here. I got a feeling I'm gonna end up with as much weight as on the back end of that. Got a feeling I'm gonna roll it here. There it goes. Alright, we'll get her set up. Alrighty, so here we go again. Here we go again. You already got a lot of unloading there on the front end. I think taking a little bit of the weight off the back will help out. This is a tough spot right here. We got too much unloading on the front.
We'll go keep going from here. See you in the next video.